Well, welcome and welcome back. If you've been doing this with us, we have quite a little community that's gathered around our online worldwide WeAwake meditation experience. So if you're not familiar with this, I'll say a few words about what we're gonna the brain entrainment track that from the WeAwake library that we're going to listen to today together, and then I'll say a few words Dharma talk afterwards. And these recordings will be later available on YouTube, so you can go back and listen to them. So we have a really another great track today. You know, I haven't said we have one that really sucks today because they really don't suck, and they go through quite a screening process, alpha and beta testing, et cetera, before we release them out to you guys. But today we have one of my favorite persons, Judith Pennington, and she is, anyway, let me start with the track is called In, Out, and Through, Volume 1, Track 2. And it is, let's see what it is. It is gathering healing energy. And number 1 is expansion of the self, which I guess we'll get to in another time, is also really awesome. And this is just as a beautiful blend of Lee Spoosta's music, entrainment music, very sophisticated. Lee's a genius. He's a real wizard when it comes to this stuff. And he not only creates these powerful entraining tones and music and vibrational frequencies, he does it in such a beautiful artistic way. And he had sent me some of his new tracks that he was working on. At the same time, I got this from Judith Pennington, these guided meditations, and it was just so synchronistic. They work together absolutely beautifully. They're really stunning in the way it happened. So it seems that the universe really wanted to get this out. And these tracks that are rather the guided meditation that is spoken by Judith Pennington. And let me just say a little about Judith. She's just she's a pioneer of studying the brain through the mind mirror technology, which has been developed and evolved for, gosh, maybe 30 or 40 years now. It's been around for a long time, and it just keeps getting better and better. And it's one of the most sophisticated ways to measure what's going on in the human brain when one is meditating or when one is using brain entrainment technology to do the same. And anyway, she just transmits. I think the reading is just beautiful, and not only is the music, but the transmission of the wisdom and the enlightenment that comes from both Judith and the woman that wrote this, who Judith was a student of, is Anna Wise, and this is one of her books called Awakening the Mind. A guide to mastering the power of brainwaves. And Anna passed away some years ago, but she was really one of the pioneers of what we're doing today, along with Michael Hutchinson. I think they're two of the giants that were on whose shoulders we are standing when we do this work. So anyway, I recommend her books are still up to date, and I keep going over them, and I've just gotten a lot from them. So we're getting this transmission both from Lee and his music, from Judith, and from the late great Anna Wise. So I think you'll like this. And it's a very powerful track if you're looking for healing or to energize yourself. It really takes you there. And if you're familiar with subtle energy work, whether it's through martial arts or through Qigong or through Reiki or any of these things, and of course a lot of thousands of year old Chinese medicine is based on these principles. And I've done some work along those lines, and I just find these tracks to be really energizing and really healing and very powerful. So without further ado, let's put our hearts and souls and minds together and be a part of the universe that is waking up at this time, because God knows we need it, and all the indicators are go that we need to do the work. We need to do the interior work to benefit the all. So let's get going, and Vanessa, let's play this.
Close your eyes and allow your mind to remember your meditation state. Remember the depth of meditation, what it feels like inside. What your landmarks and keys are. And begin to return to that place now. Begin to take that depth of meditation into you. It's almost a sense of moving through different states of consciousness as you go down. Down and in. Down and in. Down and in. As you move deeper into your meditation, you can feel the various tensions in your body letting go. Throughout your body, waves of relaxation and release. Letting go. Allow any thoughts, images, or outside disturbances to become completely irrelevant as you move into that deeper state which is within you.
Welcome back. I hope that was anyway, a healing moment for everyone. But here we are in these interesting times indeed. And as the old Chinese curse says, may you live in interesting times. Oh my God. There's never been any generations that have experienced what we're going through. And just it's such a ride we're on, 13.8 billion years ago, give or take 100 million years. There was nothing, and then there was this big expansion from this micro thing of the universe very quickly. And all that existed was hydrogen, which is an odorless, tasteless gas. And some say there was a little bit of lithium and a little bit of helium thrown in there. But from those inert things, 13.8 billion years ago, here we are. And the old cosmological scientific story that was that life could be explained The universe was infinite, and given an infinite amount of time, anything could happen. Well, the universe is not infinite, and in cosmological time, 13.8 billion years ago is a very, we can wrap our minds around the numbers of billion. It's 1,000 million, etc. So, how did this happen? What is going on here, and how did we evolve from just seemingly inert chemicals into self-reflecting beings? And in Native Americans tradition said there's 3 miracles to count for. First, that anything exists at all. Second, that living things exist. And then that we know we exist. And who are we? The big question. And in some in the Buddhist traditions, they talk about there being no self, that the self is just an illusion. But one of the paradoxes, and Buddhists thought, well, that is what the realization is when one becomes enlightened. But the question is, who wants to become enlightened? Who desires enlightenment? Nothingness, So it's a great mystery, and I think sometimes we're so caught up in the fast change of times. But if we look back 3 or 4 generations ago, or 10 generations ago of our ancestors, and look at what we're living now, and just in my working on 6 decades of being here, the whole thing has changed. It seems that we rapidly evolved to be these species, and then we took over somehow the evolution and put it into technology, and now we're trying to catch up to find the wisdom and find the type of consciousness that will help us be able to exist together and create a more beautiful and better reality than we have now. And we're seeing the danger of the times of unawakened minds and reverting back to more tribalism and more racialism and more thisism and thatism and I got mineism and selfishness and losing our connection with the all. That we're all here and we're all in it together. And that is one of the there's many benefits of meditation, and I think, especially this type of meditation we're doing, it works on so many levels. It does a lot of things that I don't think the traditional meditation did. But obviously, we're coming from the ancient wisdom traditions and added our technology and the experience of many generations and the spiritual lineages and the mystics of all time to figure out what we are now. But one of the realizations that happens sometimes very quickly and sometimes takes a while. We're all different, and our progress is different. I think this technology helps us to speed up that progress a whole lot. And I think because it is very powerful, more of us tend to stick with it than in traditional meditation, which is really hard for most of us to do. Just to stick with it, it has to be pretty heroic. Still has to be heroic, but it's a little less challenging with this technology. But one of those realizations is our essential unity, and how we're all in this together. And it's not just human centric, but it's everything centric. And we are that, and we are the universe waking up. So amazing things happen when you stop thinking, or you become aware of your thinking. You observe your mind working, and you step back, and things open up. And there's a big shift. It moves us to a place where we can find an inherent wisdom, an inherent understanding, and hope grows from that space. Light grows from there, even in the darkest times. And where do we find the light? Where do we find that hope? Well, we find it inside. There's old Zen koan: if you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him. Like, what? kill the Buddha, you know, which is, I don't think is what they were saying. But ultimately, if you don't find the Buddha, or you don't become awakened yourself, right? Like one of my favorite Buddhist teachers says, do you want to be a Buddhist or a Buddha? I think it'd be better if we be Buddhists, and we wake up within or out, inside or outside of the different lineages. And certainly we live in times where we have the benefits of the collective knowledge of all these, all the things that used to be very esoteric and used to be isolated to certain parts of the world and certain language groups and certain cultures are now become available to us all. And the technology now to aid us on our way in these practices is just truly extraordinary. So let us look deeply. Let us find the practices and find the techniques where we can turn off the discursive mind for a bit and be there. And the longer you do that, the easier it becomes. I've noticed that I guess I've been doing this type of meditation for, I don't know, going on 15 years now. And I noticed that when I meditate with or without the sound, I can just stop thinking if I want to. You know, it's like training a muscle. If I'd spent as much time working on my tennis game as I have on my meditation skills, I would be a much better tennis player than I am today. But anyway, it takes time, it takes practice, but it's moving much faster. And I think more people are getting it more quickly now. So let us stick together. Let's stick with our practices. And I don't think we are called at this point to leave the world, but to be a part of the world and to be a part of our times and to be a part of the politics and be a part of the system of trying to find a way to live together on this planet that guarantees the possibility of happiness for all creatures. And that should be our goal. And that's a sort of inspiration and the sort of wisdom that comes through from these deep practices of realizing, getting beyond your conditioned self into your deepest and your higher self, which is, I guess, is the point of the practice that we do. And as Ken Wilber, you know, we're able to embrace the pain, and it hurts more, but it bothers us less, because we've expanded our context out into the infinite. So anyway, like I said, that's enough for today. But thank you all for being here. Thank you very much. We love you. Let's stick together. Let other people know. I think this is a very useful experience that we're having together, and the more people, more brothers and sisters we can have doing this, the more power is generated by it. So stay in touch, and thank you, WeAwake team, and thank you, Judith, and thank you, Anna Wise, and thank you, Lee Spusta, for creating the track that we listened to today. God bless, Godspeed. Oh.